19 don't agree for 8 Supreme and Appeals Court judge them, plus other people where President Julius Maada been picked this BNTM for work na different office them na the country. Member them of Parliament Wednesday, March 20, been don't interview the chairman for the Human Rights Commission plus other commissioner them. After about 6 months now, we President Bio been sack all the commissioner them na the Human Rights Commission. Well, we go get a snapshot of waiting been happen at Parliament and waiting civil society organization them think about this inside the program. They push the program go before, but before we go, remember, say you can be part of the program by way of you send text message to the number 077-981-981. The program na Insai Parliament, and this morning we don't be joined at the studio by Molai Conte, where they represent civil society organizations na the country, where na the National Youth Coalition, but then get another coalition where na about civil society organization them where it will tell you about inside the program. But start welcome you, Molai. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Mr. Blair.
Yes. Okay, continue for the with inside the program. We can talk to you more. We will come. We go inside the program proper one. Usai member them of Parliament Tuesday, March 19, don't approve 8 Supreme and Appeals Court judge them. Plus other people with President Julius Maada been picked this BNTM for working a different office them. Now the country usai the Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Dr. Abbas Chernobundu, call on the 8 Supreme and Appeals Court judge them for do them work proper one so that Salone go get justice. Well, I've been witness this as always and put this report together.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All against say nay. The ayes have it.
Now, so member them of Parliament from different political party them and Parliament being come together for agree for 8 Supreme and Appeals Court judge them, plus 4 other people where President Julius Maada been picked this BNTM for serve na different office them na the country.
Honorable Justice Alusain Sani Sise, Supreme Court Judge. Honorable Justice Alan Bami Holloway, Supreme Court Judge. Honorable Justice Sengu Mohammed Koroma, Supreme Court Judge. Honorable Justice Manga Fana Din Tarawali, Supreme Court Judge. Honorable Justice Jamesina S. Linora King, Court of Appeal Judge. Honorable Justice Miata Maria Samba, Appeal Court Judge.
At the na so the leader of government business na Parliament, Honorable Sidi Mohammed Tunis, been announced the name of judge them. We just don't get the nod for member them of Parliament after we be don't move the motion. We Honorable Emilia Lolotonge, the independent member of Parliament na constituency 001 na Kailaun, been second.
Honorable Justice Ansmana Ivan Sise, Appeal Court Judge. Mr. Suleiman Ahmad Ba, Appeal Court Judge.
We be the talk na the well of Parliament. The member of Parliament for constituency 124 na the central partner Freetong, we serve na one senior lawyer we don't practice for over 40 years. Call on the new judge them for do them work fine at the justice sector na the country.
My contribution is to plead with them to continue to be impartial, to dispense justice without fear or favor. Justice must be seen to be done. Justice must be done to be seen or whatever it is. But the point I'm trying to make is that please stand up. The judiciary does not have a good name. I have been part of it for over 40 years, and it has been the same.
We himself been the talk. The member of Parliament for constituency 86 Nabo district, Honorable Nene Leby, expressed serious concern on the way and manner how is a woman them a different part of the country not only get quick justice.
My honorable women, please make sure you serve Sierra Leonean women diligently. Women are suffering out there, you know. Women are suffering because of injustice. We talk about rape. I don't want to delve too much into rape now, but there are other injustices that women are facing. If you can stand up and see how we can access justice in some of these cases, I think the accolade will go to you. Access to justice is very important.
but we be the talk. The member of parliament for constituency 130 na Aberdeen and other area them na the western part na Freetown, Honorable Usman Timbo, talk directly to the president, the executive and parliament, not for put mouth or hand on the work of the judiciary.
I want to start by sending a message and calling on His Excellency the President, the executive, the Speaker of Parliament, members of Parliament, that they should hands off our judiciary. Yes, you will say there have been precedents before, political interference, but you have been saying this is a new direction. If this is a new direction, then let's be sure that this is a new direction.
Inside in contribution, the leader of the National Grand Coalition NGC Party, Honorable Kande Koleyum Kela, say the judiciary for work for protect the rights of Salon people.
His Excellency the President is putting a lot of trust in you to revamp the judiciary. You've heard the comments from my colleagues. The reputation of the judiciary is not very good. You've highlighted the backlog of cases. There are issues related also to the protection of investments, enforcement of contracts in this country that is scaring away investors from coming here. Issues of denial of human rights. And I'm very pleased to see Justice Alusain Sise talk about his tour of the provinces where people languish in the cells without proper representation and proper adjudication of their issues.
Inside Fion contribution, the majority leader in the parliament, Honorable Cherno Majuba, say the new judge them for make effort for Sise, the judiciary get in good name where it not get again.
We want to distinguish them from the judiciary. The actions of the judiciary and the actions of them as individual judges, we must separate. The perception is against the judiciary and not them in their persons. But collectively, they make up the judiciary. So please, work and ensure that the institution you represent get out of that perception. That is very serious. Mr. Speaker, they always tell us that justice should not only be done, but it must be seen to be done.
But one concern with the majority leader in the parliament, Honorable Cherno Majuba, been get. Now where he said the Chief Justice not been present in the parliament, where parliament been approved them 8 judge them we get for work with them.
But Mr. Speaker, I also note the absence of the Chief Justice. Normally, when we have a battery of judges, eminent judges, and some of them are going to be sitting with him in the Supreme Court, we normally see the Chief Justice accompanying these appointments. He was visibly absent for the interviews, and today again he is absent. Why? I'm asking myself the question. I hope I'll find an answer after today.
Where it be the talk, the leader of government business, Honorable Sidi Mohammed Tunis, been get this for say to all the concerned them, we come up for sake of the judiciary in the country.
The approval today of these judges definitely are just the beginning of what is about to happen in the judiciary. We are very much aware as a government that we inherited a situation wherein some judges did not even have a vehicle. So how do you expect them to go to court? Understand? We inherited these problems and we are going to ensure under the new direction that we provide everything that is required for the judiciary to carry on with their work.
Tuesday sitting of parliament important because one, about 8 high-profile people them at the judiciary parliament don't agree for, and 2, this na the first time after about 1 month remember them of parliament not able to see one side for carry on with the business of parliament after one bitter confusion, but who that or not win the vote on whether President Bio in state of public emergency on rape this bientem for all water or not. But plenty observer them want for belief say this one word we don't start Tuesday na parliament for approve the 8 judge them go continue na the Salon Parliament. For the Society for Radio Democracy, Mina Abdullah Bla the reports. The program Inside Parliament, they continue. You can be part of send text message to the number 077-981-981. You see me, so they get me online on www.radiodemocracy.sl with support from Musiwa and powered by AfriCell. You can see me, so go on our Facebook page, Radio Democracy 98.1 FM, and view all within the app in inside the studio. You can also send message through that platform day. Well, we also don't join at the studio by we regular parliamentary commentator we na Johnny Paul Kuruma. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Abdullah, and good morning to Farm Building.
Same way, so inside the studio, of course, I get a full studio with people. I get also Razrock Wuri, we na senior parliamentary reporter and commentator. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Mr. Ba. Good morning to listeners.
Right. I'll start with you, Razrock. Of course, you've been there na the Well of Parliament. We member them of Parliament been grieved for 8th Supreme and Appeals Court judged them. But this come just after. About 1 month, we member them of Parliament, not be the C1 side from the APC and the ruling SLPP. We did not be the C1 side for Seka, the State of Emergency Act, where then we get confusion as to whether for grief forum or not. That confusion they make, they're not being able for the C1 side, they're not being in a Parliament. They don't come together for approve, judge them. Now the Well of Parliament after that confusion, they, as a parliamentary reporter, you don't see all waiting happen. How important that sitting they been there last Tuesday?
Very important, as you asked me the question. Say how important. In fact, that particular scene or a scenario or a particular action or a demonstration of the leadership of Parliament. Remember, say this Parliament will get a Parliament of mixed balance. Some people they call it hung parliament, some people say rainbow parliament. But interestingly, now a parliament one man will hold the show. Even though the main opposition, one of the ousted APC for ruling party next, will get the majority. In one way will do by himself. Except people that the ruling party will do by himself. Okay. They need themselves to come together. Okay. So it gives a future confidence building to the citizens. None one foresee. We all una citizens we all una electorate, we all una constituents from them people. Because remember, before we talk as journalists, I get MP who represents me in the area from home I come out, in the area from the south side, and same way so them people then they need to come together for put the country interest. So it show clear manifestation. But one thing very striking, what they say under it tell you the spirit of uniformity with regard the candidates them, the nominees they would send. That these people that we need to emphasize that, because so many times when Parliament can approve people them, you can get speedy unanimous approval because report them. People then can go watch and say, hey, but Parliament are rubber stamp Parliament. But then candidates they're couldn't talk in English language, they say the choice, where they say the diction. Then particular choice of candidates they are then pedigree. Remember, not too stranger than a Parliament, they don't go through Parliament. You see, one mature MP we talk, one of the majority leader. It tells you say you get for distinguish them candidates there, them performance individually and the judiciary. But then particular candidates that they emphasize, not enforcing this. So don't go through it before as judge. That tells you back say government and continuity. It tells you say performance is the key reward. Remember them candidates there as they emphasize, not to President before appoint them. They may not nominate them before from the throne from the former president, ex-president Kurma. They all who go there, especially the senior among the owner Alan Awell, or Justice Alan Awell, Honorable, they get Justice Abu Science say. Now all they get season background of experience. They don't come through from a season chamber then, some come from Court come with Abu Science say, some go through just Magason. But as I say, they all the Ivans gets a good record of human rights track record. They all be not go through President Kurma appoints them before the President Bill don't appoint them back. Okay. But among them people will give confidence more so for say.
So, sorry, based on the experience, we just say I lied. Plenty issues under the judiciary, even where Honorable Manley Spain being the talk, he said the judiciary not get good name over the years. You think, say, this crop of judge them, now the highest court in the country, go able for make difference?
Well, that's a very, very, very important question. Like, question will get an ambiguity. Like, question way for answer from the Chief Justice. Remember, somebody's post on team, the majority leader, the unavoidable absence of the Chief Justice. That is very important. He was present on the inauguration, the swearing in of the judges them, but he was absent on their interview. And in a part of the Judicial Service Commission who recommend candidates them in Foster. Not to, it's supposed for the day, with expense for the day, and for no one making no good until and get payroll. This is an opportunity for we back for post-mortem and investigate further. Okay. Because the judge there, the individual, the leadership, and the Chief Justice. Now I don't recommend and get for guidance. But one important thing we want to emphasize here, now during the interview, the interview, it creates a sense of balance from various other interview around the see the interview judges them. Even the interview, they as High Court judge them. Then we get asked the specific question. I don't know if that reference to the Badnemo judicial don't get like Badnem with so many questionable constitutional matters they don't see through. People they still question. People they say, "I got no more help this country, but for one case on situation of havoc." But they may ask them on the independency and in case of the area of a constitutional matter, if they all will give uniform judgments, citing the experience of the house, the previous judgment of the former vice president. He said, no, the one can clear say, no, everybody gets a mind for writing your own judgments. And in fact, you as the chair, not get for coerce. Why would a judge will emphasize when our justice have another? He said, even we don't see, because remember, appeal court judge, the appeal court judge.
Yes, yeah.
He said, we don't see, you and I been he said, there is an evidence to the fact that he never coercing convict them. He can like self the import when everybody writes your ruling and then cross-check on each other. He said, that's none of the spirit of the law. As I say, you see, candidates of them, they don't go, so don't serve before as lawyers. Like Ivan, so not serve as prosecutor. We don't make a good performance. Like so remember, we don't come appeal court judge. So not serve before as human rights commissioner. Like Justice Nakin, African judge. Then so not serve before as high court judge. So not serve as good lawyers before. Substantially, Ivan, then Justice Avan Awe, Justice Sengu Kuruma. They all. Okay. And as I say, while we want to enter that point, President Kumabi appoints them. They go to Parliament. They get back unanimous approval. They interview them in very thorough. But you see. Two things they will pick. Somebody emphasize the lawyer. Emphasize that as I say, my explain a voice from the within. Where they can call, one of the right can come and say through confession. What's the voice from the within? Because remember, now inside and I know what it up inside. This is how they talk my explain. You don't be magistrate before. You know very well and experience. Now for 40 years, now for the kids, service clearly you know what is happening here.
Okay.
BBC them one parable say, old broom now for sweep. Okay. New broom can catch give some dirty. So if you see my explain emphasize, then Honorable Timbo Sefte, you say, he emphasized on he talked to the throne, separation of power, he talked to the
your parliamentary reporter, as also political commentator and parliamentary analyst today inside the program this morning for talk on different issues them we come out in parliament. Come to you, Johnny Paul Kuruma, we now we regular parliamentary commentator. You don't listen, of course, it's appeals and Supreme Court judge them. Parliament come together for approve them after with them being then not being get agreement for the past 1 month on different issues them. How important you think say this situation day?
Well, I think one very important arm of government, if any government supposed to succeed, and for give absolute attention to the judiciary. And over the years, we all can recall, say, every Sierra Leonean or plenty Sierra Leonean, if not everybody, they grumble but the judiciary not being balanced. Either they accuse and say, even up to current times, we see right from the House of Parliament, Tegodong, all man they grumble, say the judiciary not balanced. Either they take the sides of the government of the day or whatever. And if any government for succeed in Sierra Leone, based on my own observation, I think say the need for puts a kind of robust attention to I mean another particular arm of government, the judiciary. They need for give an absolute attention to them. And then from waiting we observe, waiting based on the observation made there, it means say all the man that we come, either they may don't build their way before they come to the House of Parliament for on the interviews or for approval or not, but based on the unanimous approval we then get from both opposition and the ruling party, I think say should say we're able to get something very serious. Because if opposition look at somebody we na for can screen and we then we don't grumble on the biasness of the judiciary, then elects people say, well, let these people also can represent with this time around and we'll all support them unanimously. It should say we feel say this person who can stand, it will take a middle path other than taking one side. Yeah, and but one thing again, we are always they look at, as I mentioned, I also on my notes. Again, we all know say deeply the judiciary has been questionable. it has been questionable in terms of its effectiveness and in terms of maintaining integrity. Other than that, President Biono for Grabse will take the formation of the COI. You know, Grabse will go take foreign justices for can govern the commissions of inquiry. Other than just choosing amongst the justices who will get na Sierra Leone, Sierra will just select 3 out of them. We will come because it will get confidence. Say these people, they are men of integrity. These people will do their job with effectiveness and efficiency. They're not going to take chances. Say, "Look, can get a small thing, and we just balance the matter this kind of way." You know. So the one that we didn't select, the one that we didn't approve or elect and select, I think say a very big task then get this time round. A very, very big task then get this time round as to maintaining a kind of name we go make tomorrow. Should anything come up, they're not going to say, "Look, go take other one from America and England for make them can preside on a matter way very important to Sierra Leone, but rather than go choose Sierra Leoneans." We don't see cases then don't come pass people and pass and take them and carry them go na the ECOWAS court. Why? Because people not get confidence, they not get trust in the judiciary system in Sierra Leone. So I think then get a
they don't want to go able for make that difference there and restore the hope or the trust with
my yes may not be the correct answer. They themselves would have to answer this question. And then one thing we I listened from the majority leader, as mentioned, we like he give me a very deep question as to why not what we supposed for accompany we make the recommendation for the selection of these people, not for back them up, for make them no say. If I were there and if maybe gets a say or a day at him of affairs, if I don't suspend them and allow the one we supposed for accompany them come with them. Let present instead for answer questions. Now you don't go beyond that level. Now you don't go beyond that point because they've already been approved. So no matter what, now you just get for manage. In case the man gets
for ask how important the presence of the Chief Justice for approve them. That na Parliament they don't work for approve. We they don't choose or appoint then caliber of people them.
Now maybe questions the way sometimes people go, I mean, in years past, we don't say the Chief Justice always came present, while then they prone the selection based on the approval we President don't make of this kind of people, because I then get for work with directly. And should the Chief Justice get any question on any of these ones, it means a division get for the in the long run. So if it's for like did and he clear any doubt, if amends need for be made, then can make it within that time. But now you know who's signal listen. Either I not get no problem with them absolutely, or I get some problems with them, or I not even want for be part of their interview at all. Okay. But the other thing, he was present during the swearing in, is he? He present during the swearing in, and that's one he just get for Duam. Is a must. Either he like him or you not like him. Either he hits anyone now. As long as Parliament don't approve, President don't recommend, and Parliament don't approve, he just get for President. That is a must. We say before get to say we will able for screen somebody based on we will recommend say this person I not able for work with him. Now the House of Parliament we something for be listen to him.
Okay. Continue for the inside the program. My name now Johnny Paul Kuruma, and in we regular parliamentary commentator inside the program. Members of the program you listen to now Insai Parliament. It come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM and online on www.radiodemocracy.sl with support from Mosiwa and powered by Africell. You see also the gateway na Facebook live Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. You see also go left we message day. Well, we come now to Molai Kanu Conte, when appear of the Consortium of Good Governance, Democracy and Human Rights. We na organization and come together for form the consortium day. Well, then get an issue we get to do with the removal of the Human Rights Commissioner them, then say the procedure them we then established by the Human Rights Act of 2004. The president not been go by them. Well, they also for talk more on that. Welcome again to the program Inside Parliament.
Thank you very much.
Well, you do so because member them of Parliament Wednesday don't interview the chairperson for the Human Rights Commission plus other commissioner them. Now this commission after about over 6 months where the president been sack all the commissioner them na this commission. Well, before we come to waiting be happy in Parliament during this interview, let me get first the position of the Consortium for Good Governance, Democracy and Human Rights, where more like Kanu Conte will give away. What's now our position as a consortium?
We position very, very simple. We position is that they appeal to the president and they remind the conscience of the president and in government that we are governed by laws. And I think the president in his statement at Parliament during the presidential address, he mentioned and he promised to the people of this country, say, he will uphold human rights and also he will maintain the rule of law. So we want to remind the president, say, something like this would happen. It sounds like the president want to deviate from his promise. And I think it's not just a promise, but now also nothing we get for do with constitutionality. It get for do with constitution and we laws them. So we position that you will not get no problem if you want to remove anybody who say you want to remove them. But any outside there is guarantee of tenure of office. When a law now protects that tenure, would advise the president for let's Sierra Leone go before and let's Sierra Leone go always be on top. As a grade A country, let the president not touch people and wait and get protection by law for letting done the term of office. So this now waiting happen at the Human Rights Commission. When the president dissolve all commissions, we think say maybe they not be advised the president well, especially when you get lawyers, them, the Attorney General, according to the law of Sierra Leone, for advise the president that when it comes to the Human Rights Commission, if you go back to history, the TRC recommendation, when are the product of the Human Rights Commission, very clear that to forget the Human Rights Commission, where they advise the government, any government within a power, once that democratic government, for letting get a conscience and no say human rights, not you, they know they compromise. Now people in rights, just because you're a mortal man, automatically you get a rights there because you're a mortal man. And you know to other species. So human rights, nothing where you know they negotiate. And the only time where I think say reasonably we can understand when they take them away from people or maybe they restrict you. Now in situation where maybe you they stand trial for murder or something when a criminal offense, or sometimes also it be say there is an outbreak of an epidemic like Ebola, then go restrict your movement. Or in a situation where sometimes, you know, it got to do with public morality, public security, you know, national security. Then concern and they reasonable for let them deny you. But in this situation, the Human Rights Commission, the 3 Human Rights Commissioners that have been did, I think then go through all what we call the democratic process for let them did and be the conscience of the leaders them of this country on human rights issues. For remove them without going through the procedure, even the act, the 2004 Human Rights Commission Act, very clear as to how you can remove them. And section 4, subsection 3G, tell we say, you they go through what we call a tribunal. If anybody they don't want to find out, say, a political or if you don't do bad, you don't bring the commission down, una set up a committee they investigate them, and the recommendations of that committee are not just final, then they send them to Parliament. Because Parliament now in there for represents the people. And Parliament will take a 2/3 majority support or maybe they reject to that particular recommendation. Then they can pull whatever commissioner or left-handed. So that procedure very, very important. Because even the Sierra Leone Constitution 1991, section 137, subsection 7 also guarantee the Human Rights Commissioner then for what they did the term of office.
Quickly, one will ask a question where the president's been dissolved, the Human Rights Commission, another commission them, a blanket dissolution of all commissions them. Why wanna pick on the Human Rights Commission? Clearly, not based on any wrongdoing or anything, the president been just say, well, let's just dissolve them all and get fresh dispensation. Why not pick on the Human Rights Commission?
I think we immediately when the president dissolve all commissions, we will make a concern we take to the president and Parliament that in as much as the president need confidence for people, which is true in politics, but also there are certain institutions where it borders on Sierra Leone people and your rights. And the Human Rights Commission is so special. We know of the Anti-Corruption Commission, we know of the bank governor, and many other things. We also get some tenor of protection, where I think that they own debates been there. But this, the human rights, why is so bother we so much? Again, for do with Solomon, the last way call you Sierra Leonean. You right to life, you right to freedom, you right for let nobody know arbitrarily arrest you, you right for let them represent you in a court. You right for let you get what you for enjoy as a Sierra Leonean, your property, and many other facilities. Where this rights now, God now give you the rights, not a mortal man. So when you get a president will dissolve, you know, unspecified means that all commissions will be dissolved, we think say that's also not be a mistake. But again, for go further for say, then they replace the substantive commissioners that have been there. Now make we raise them up. Mr. President, this is very important because also, not forget, say, we get what we can say, the review of the United Nations. Every year, then they review Sierra Leone and other countries them for look at we grade in terms of human rights. Okay. And Sierra Leone, as we speak now, will be in the grade A. By 2020, where the president get for attend, then get for go tell and whose grade we don't go. Now the 10 Sierra Leoneans go no say this not to politics, this not to become more lies until you think say me name na western area or na northern until they talk na make. Look at the issue, focus on the issue. Somebody get for talk. Nobody not go just sit there and fall in and they see the wrong thing they go. Then this again it borders on the war where we fight na saloon. The senseless war where we take they will get bad scar the way they see people in handcuffs, people in there we not able normal. People in the way suffer, and the TRC, when are we mechanism for justice, we tell we say this Human Rights Commission very important because over the years, now one of the things will be absent when we could get war. So if we get this kind of institution, we need for protector with all we life as Sierra Leoneans.
Quickly, it don't go past 6 months now. We President Bill dissolve this commission. As you don't talk about how important you get for do with the welfare, the well-being, and even for uphold the country in peace and democracy. 6 months on, the Human Rights Commission not functional. You think say this in any way don't affect the country in human rights status? What's a specific issue that we could draw to away if the Human Rights Commission forbid for don't address?
I think any reasonable Sierra Leonean go agree with me say a lot of challenges do happen. I call them challenges in the absence of the full functioning of the Human Rights Commission because staff then they but not to that to the talk. When the commissioners are not working, the staff then they for make sure see the office open and this. But when you talk about review mechanisms, the commissioners then function for the attend to human rights sessions they're out of the country, and also for the advice the president and in government on human rights issues. Now the commissioner then they do them, okay. And the periodic reports for the come out for tell we how Sierra Leone day. You understand? And for Sierra Leoneans, then for the access the commission and make reports where their rights then violate. And we get strong allegations that people in the way don't come, even at your office, then say then sack them unprocedurally, illegally, meaning they not go through the legal process. If you are a civil servant, they want sack you, they are procedure. So all these are human rights issues. People and they go to say politically they assault them from different political parties. Okay. But because the Human Rights Commission not exists for the past almost month, it don't affect Sierra Leone. And I go tell you, 2020 now, you go hear the way and go great salon inside the universal peer review. Continue
for the with inside the program. We now go to Parliament quickly. Usami Madam of Parliament been interview the new commission, the chairperson for the Human Rights Commission, where President Bill just don't pick. And listen, what's be happening in Parliament.
Patricia Nasu Danema.
You married?
Yes.
To
Joseph Jonathan Danema.
what does your agriculture?
He is the Honorable Minister of Agriculture.
Mrs. Nanema,
Yes, sir.
you are now supposed to go to the Human Rights Commission to make sure that our human rights are protected. And we all fully know that the executive is part of the three arms of government. Now, do you see an element of a conflict of interest where you, as an individual in the Human Rights Commission, will be supervising your better half in the executive? Do you think you'll be fair in a situation where there are complaints from the Minister of Agriculture relating to human rights affecting your husband, I want you to be very sincere. I've taken an oath in this case.
I think the first thing I would say is that you're supposed to bank on my integrity, because the position of Human Rights Commissioner is for 5 years, and after that 5 years, I still have some time in my professional life, and I intend to use that judiciously. So this means while I serve in the capacity as Human Rights Commissioner, my integrity has to be protected and maintained. And it's really very clear that although this is really personal, even before taking up this assignment, I have already made that clear to him, that I'm here to promote and protect human rights, and we don't want to find ourselves in a situation where he'll be found wanting.
Right, that's na question with the majority leader in the parliament, Honorable Chegno Majuba, and the chief whip for the main opposition, the APC, Honorable Hassan Priest, been asked the chairperson or the person who President Piedon pick for be the chairperson for the Human Rights Commission, Blindu Nasu Danema. We, of course, inside the, let me ask him, say, a man na the Minister of Agriculture, then we ask him question how he go able for work if a man within the executive issue of human rights commander in office for go to na the Human Rights Commission. I go deal with that. I come to you quickly to Johnny Paul Kuruma. The interview go on and you listen, waiting happen. Which now you take?
In fact, one of the questions where they ask the proposed commissioner, now the same question that before get in my mind. Him being the wife of an executive member of government, waiting how you get for sound like, how you get for balance between a family, knowing well that a husband they part of the government, and in supposed for be a neutral somebody. How you get for balance? Well, you don't say say you get an integrity for maintain. And we hope for look at that, see you get an integrity for maintain. But if I just flow quickly to within me what I've been just mentioned here, I think the Human Rights Commission, I mean the organization where it can for represent in the first place, like the question he posed to Ram, plenty other sackings we don't take place or dissolution of commissions will take place. But this organization will come up for say anything. Somebody go and say, well, as it is, it's not necessary again for we say anything, because we need them people have to be replaced. Either they reinstate the one that we then take out or then put somebody else. But the commissions been on the vacant. We don't get nobody there, and things they happen at the country. Maybe one reason or the other, then one forget things settled within the government, make them decide to so suspend that for so nobody no go put here away. Now we don't complete what you want for do. So we can allow now for let the commissions be set. But that nobody no can put more power. We put the one that we trust. We go take we go take the views of we go take with sides at all time, other than going against us. Either we are doing the wrong thing or doing the right thing. Nobody's gonna go against us, but absolutely everybody's gonna be for us. That has shown that the decision we the government just don't take, which is a very good one. If I were there, for clap for them. But again, is the government there on its own for itself, or is it there as representative for the people? Why for take a decision we not think say either favorable to the people or not? And mind you, the House of Parliament, now they're not the voice of the people. Now everybody under represents somebody in Sierra Leone, because they are the constituent representatives. So now, if then don't begin put question on certain people, and yet still it's continued, I've not been there in person for Siam, but I followed the social media of people who be there, I mean, during the interviews and during the approval, where some of these questions come up, and especially waiting come up from the leader of the majority of the opposition, as to, I mean, waiting this person will get for do in the long run, being the wife of somebody that is in government, working for the government of President Bio, how you go for balance. And it's obvious that one, you not go look at him home for go down, despite him they contributing at the home. But yesterday the husband is the head of the home, so that one day gets a very deep question. I will not say anything to that, but again, I reiterate to his statement, say it gets an integrity for maintain and for protect.
Okay.
I pray that we go see that.
Okay, continue for the inside the program. I come to you, Razok. You been there na the interview room number 1. We member them of Parliament na the appointment committee be the interview Patricia Nasu Danema. Sorry, I've been mistake just now. I'm wrong name. In name na Patricia Nasu Danema. We na the proposed human rights the chairperson for the Human Rights Commission Salon. What now you take towards the different questions them where them being asked? Let me go first to the question where the the leader for the APC party in our parliament and of course the chief whip we then get for ask 1, but in man within a government. 2, but the issue we get for do with how we go handle issue we get for do with conflict of interest in man and the work we they do human rights and all.
That's a very good question, a professional question, and a question where the proof say with democracy don't get more energy. Remember, say back in Kain after the war, as my brother emphasized here, through the advices of so many other organizations, Human Rights Commission, TRC, democracy don't improve small. We see all the debates here, they say for and against, like Brother Johnny Paul, they talk, civil society, they argue, it's fine. President Kaba be making clear, say, well, they get jaw than for even the court can say, no, nako, talk, very company talk. Let the debate go so. The question they ask them are very, very important, but not a new question, not a new style, not a new appointment. Even the past government, that's what they say. I know you try to justify the government action. Remember, even when President Kaba when he appoints Christian on top, some questions they will come back because at that time better half, you know, the deceased and monkey. Professionally, she answered the question. The madam answered the question professionally. And what you would always believe, like me, I do this teacher. 3 ways we understand where they study person. Now what they talk about the person, what the person they do. The emphasis now what they do and what they say. They don't give confidence. Samola Michel, I go back this question. Samola Michel, me can clear one constitution. You see, the emancipation of women is not an act of charity. You understand? Most of the successful men them, not just one near the no. The Marcus Garvey, the Samola Michel, the Nelson Mandela, the Obamas, President Kaba, President Nkrumah, President Biu, they get very strong. We all get confidence in what you don't say. Maybe you don't come to parliament. But more according to the such don't the crisscross parliament. But Johnny Paul, of course, not to send to parliament. Now in bosom. But as I said, the emphasis, Honorable Nene Touré, remember the then government, was the Deputy Minister of Social Affairs. In better half now be honorable. A journalist was even questioned whether that story there. Me have supported the journalist. I go meet the former clerk then. The time for organize with some journalists already. For when moving that journalist day from Trump and people write the story say Parliament approve MP fiancé. I say is that wrong? It's correct. For the public know that. I prefer for see the headline day. You understand? Eh? Say Parliament, but until don't approve it, sometimes make the people be careful for premature publication. But the madam don't give us a cover, not in one. We don't go to woman and back. We don't go. If you watch as they talk at the try for think. Remember, they don't go to Parliament. You get Honorable Sanko, a man of the MP, where you go to Parliament, they ask them questions. Them. Okay. You don't get confidence in the people because Obama say, he say better to get strong institution than strong leaders. Okay. They don't answer the question. Madam don't answer the question. Yeah. They don't make it clear. Say confidence is not good. And I want to conclude for that side on civil binding constitution. It's not to become married an opposition. He married a SLPP man and minister and not forget approval. Okay. It's even think better than scrutinize and thoroughly on the issue of professionalism and ethics.
So now listen quickly. Thank you very much, Razgokuri. Now listen the question where the leader for the NGC party, na Parliament, Honorable Kande Koleyum Kela, been posed to the proposed chairperson in the Human Rights Commission inside the committee room number 1, same Wednesday.
As you know, I spent a good part of my adult life within the UN system, and therefore the protection of human rights is something one has observed from that vantage point, because we discuss it regularly. You mentioned that indeed the tenure of commissioners of that commission are protected for a good reason. While it is clear, let me see if I can pull up the section of the Act that protects their tenure. With your permission, Mr. Chairman, I want to read it. This is the Human Rights Commission Act, Part 3. Section 4 says, the chairman the vice chairman and other members of the commission shall hold office in their personal capacities for a period of 5 years and shall be eligible for reappointment for another period of 5 years, but no person shall be eligible for reappointment after the expiration of a second term in office. On quotation finishes. That is couched so that you're free to do your work. There is a current debate as to, in fact, whether that 5-year term can be truncated. What is your view on that? You, assuming you have that position, you're sitting there for 5 years.
Honorable Member, I don't think it's our responsibility to ask the nominee to talk on that. Those are legal questions. I'm coming. I'm coming. Whatever she will be saying regarding that particular question, as chairman, I just want to make it very clear is prejudice.
Okay,
to whatever.
let me rephrase.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase. Candidate. The tenure of commissioners of the Electoral Commission are protected by law. If there is a situation where a commissioner of the Electoral Commission, forget about Human Rights Commission, similar statute, if there is a situation where their tenure is truncated, how would you handle such a case if an individual goes there to make a complaint about their right of tenure, security of tenure? By the way, it's a question I'm going to ask every commissioner.
Before you answer, I just want you to understand, as a nominee, as a presidential nominee, you are not under obligation to answer to every question. If you don't know, or if you know that it doesn't fall within your purview to answer that.
Alright, that's the drama we've been happening inside room number 1, inside the committee on appointment, being the interview the person with President Biopik for the chairperson of the Human Rights Commission when a part Risha Nasu Danema. Something will happen quickly, of course, I come to you, Johnny Paul Kuroma. Something will happen in a way the leader for the NGC party, Honorable Kande Kolegium Kela, they pose a question to the proposed chairperson, but the chairperson for the appointment committee, they like try for protect the interviewee. What's your observation toward the interview process we go on based on which you listen?
I think this is the second time they get something like this. Back in 2007, when I think it was late Musukande been go for interviews, there were questions posed to Musukande. It was editorial by then, as leader of the majority then and chairman of that committee. He absolutely protects Musukande. And this same statement why I read today say, when the president make a nomination, he talked to the nominee, say, if the question not favorable to you and you feel you not get answer to them, don't say anything. So for like I read this one today, it not look strange. Absolutely, it not look strange to me. But one thing we had to look at in this particular scenario, again, when you get a group of panelists, then they pose questions, then you and the chairman, he debunk the question coming, then it means no one for make them prone deeper into the person they before the panel for interview. No one for allow the person for come out with tweeting again for say, and then it might sometimes even the one we did the interview get something. A very good answer to the question we demand be don't pose to them, but the chairman don't can cut him off, say don't say anything again. I know to me, I don't think say it sound, it not look okay if I were there, if I were in that position, even to the colleague, honorable member, how it would be like, how it would feel like, it would sound funny. You know,
quickly that come to Razo you've been witness, and of course you don't witness plenty interview them at the appointment committee. How you been observe this situation, even at some point where the leader for the NGC party and the chairman for the appointment committee, them been get something one-on-one now, wait, and then they talk to themselves now as to whether for ask question, as to whether if they witness international panel them for interview candidates where they're going to high office. What can be your observation?
My observation been good, as me brother say, not to new thing. But one thing we for know, we the cover parliament for and we they go to parliamentary proceeding. If you know say they get two passports today, they get two Bible day. One of the constitution is standing order. And if you know how the committee and the seats and what are the committee and powers and what are the pro and cons or the merits and demerits. Any committee that the chair devoid. Remember this is the leadership committee. The committee on appointments comprises of all the leaders of the political parties, including the whip system of the party, and including parliament chiefs. Then you get the female hired independent candidates. But as I say, not a new thing. The power they will exercise and again stand in order. With any interview, generally safe, from a formal point of view or from an academic point of view or any form of interview, you get procedure for the interview. That interview they get in guideline on that particular appointment that you go for. Right. What you may understand from that parliament interview, the chairman always sit as a speaker. You remember, you don't call parliament, any committee, you sit as a speaker. Immediately the chairman, you get power like the speaker. And at this make, you see the author of the standing order, they call for the review, because you don't say, they emphasize, say, also than Mr. Carpenter. If you go to the standing order again and pocket in there, you put on there, they say this book has become obsolete. They say it's good, though, but things they do for review. So if we don't miss the constitutional review, well, even if they say the political action will say, well, Mr. Gua, Mr. More content, they can watch parliamentary proceeding and get the power. That's what you want to do. But this is the time when we get energy into democracy. Okay. So, you know the watch us like a protector. The question I stand is very hypothetical. Remember, they can interview somebody who don't do it. Now, in drama, they will interview somebody for neck. They don't step down. So, I did somebody who interview suicide to all good, the past government, slash object. When I see in journalist, the lecturer, she was stepped down, don't approve her. Another somebody who have been cousin to President Kuruma, he was stepped down. So, considering some questions he asks, when you don't know, you don't know, you know, propose whether I get for pass through the bridge, you not pass through the bridge, you should get for very be careful. Okay. And the professional aspects of the chairman. Okay. Because even honorable can't be that chairman, so you say get for behave. Okay. Honorable if you that's chairman, you just get for guide. Okay. Because some questions and if you allow the press today. And they always the alarm section 75. Even when they talk now, so I hope so. No, we don't violate the section.
But now it puts more questionable. It poses more questions now, especially with the press, as to why was this person protected? Why? No,
I wouldn't say she was not protected to my own view.
Yeah, but from the point here, then send question to somebody here. We're supposed for answer. Let's say I not get idea on waiting to say, but somebody's having as a shield. Say no, this person not supposed for answer this question or waiting understand, not say anything. It means it already. I mean, put a kind of umbrella around them that don't respond to this question absolutely. Okay. And well, it puts more questions to me as a journalist as to something is underneath that you want to cover up.
I beg to differ. What you remember? You know, if you want to go through the act where you don't go through proper. Remember when they appoint you, you have to go through that thoroughly, then you know for interpret the act really good serve. Okay. You see lawyer? No, the commission of lawyers they go for acts. Okay. The other commissioners are lawyers. So she's still guided. Remember being the chair.
Yes. Using chair, that commission, the commission getting guide. Like our parliament getting your
human rights entails law.
Okay, okay, quickly. Okay, yes. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I come quickly to more like Kanu Conte, of course, then get them objection who they don't raise, and of course the presidential nominee, we na Patricia Bendu Danema don't go through the interview. Another commissioner them, the Human Rights Commission. Quickly, we not get much time. Waiting what they expect now, based on all waiting, we don't talk so, we don't raise na position and all. Quickly, soon, then go for either approve or not the Human Rights Commission. Waiting on a position.
I think quickly, we not get problem with the nominees them. They are qualified, they are Sierra Leoneans, and in their own way, if the president wants to pick them, he get right for pick them. But when they talk about the replacements, when you get law where then at the Human Rights Commission Act of 2004, we tell the president how to remove a commissioner and how to replace them. Very critical, and this now global governance. My brother having to talk about we Sierra Leoneans will vote for this policy if you do it you want to. Not just Sierra Leone. Now we're in a global village where even governments now you get to be worried because we get international organizations like the Network of African National Human Rights or institutions where they call NANRI. We get Global Alliance of National international human rights institutions when are Ganry. They all don't come out with a statement, and even a member of parliament we get the largest constituents them na England, where they deal with Sierra Leoneans in the constituency, don't petition this particular thing na their own parliament, because mind we belong to the Commonwealth, and Sierra Leone laws them and British law are almost the same that they apply in England as they apply here. So if you don't petition Sierra Leone on the human rights issue, very serious. And also the United Nations rapporteur ASF come out with a statement. If I say an attack on human rights, so the president, he get right if you want to listen, if you want to not listen, but no say will they get consequences. And I tell you, the last thing we work for so far is there is possibility of a court action at the international level when an ECOWAS court. There is possibility for the government for so far that, and I think we don't want to go down that line. So we talk to the president, let reason, and also Sierra Leoneans want for respect the laws and abide by the laws. That's all what we say.
Okay, that's now more like Kanu Conte in a PRO of the Consortium for Good Governance, Democracy and Human Rights. It on the also this morning for television position on the issue we get for do with the Human Rights Commission. And before I'm moving get Johnny Paul Kuruma, we na regular parliamentary commentator on this program, and of course we get senior parliamentary reporter and political commentator we na Razro Kuri. They all be on the also this morning for be part of the program. I want to say plenty thank you for we una join me inside the program. Well, you don't listen and be part of the program. Now, yasu this edition of the program Inside Parliament go tap for today. I want to say thank you to you, DJ Sugarcane. We don't give me technical support, and you, Moses Kavura. We make listener them. We they online. They see we live na Facebook. And me we produce and present this program. I name Abdullah Ibla. So till next week, where another edition will come to you inside Parliament. For today, I go say tata and get yourself a blessed weekend.